let it do its normal send out, and then it takes about 20 seconds for you. It's about 20 seconds delay from when I go live to when you guys get it. So that's what we're working on. So I will just randomly talk for the next 20 seconds and wait for the stream to go out. And then if someone can post the sound of being okay, I'll get started. But yeah, until then, I'll fill in the 20, 30-second gap until you guys get hit with the live. But yeah, sounds okay. I've got a few people coming up here. Yeah, Ben and Scott say it's all good. That's great. So yeah, I wondered because my AirPods, when I connected this time, they didn't make a sound. So I was like, is this connected? So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but it just seems so dark. I don't know why, but it just looks so dark on my face. I'm trying to I've got a light, like the light, and I'm trying to block it out of my head at the moment. So yeah, could do like a light on here or something. That would make it a lot better. But yeah, so just doing a live Q&A. Throw any questions at me that you want, guys. It's one of those where it's just so much better. Like, you guys always post like comments on like the YouTube videos, and like it's so hard to get like a good reply back to them. But here I can finally give like a lot more detail, which is so much better. We will try and do a good half an hour, 45 minutes. We always seem to go over it, but we'll try do something like a half an hour and 45 minutes, and we'll see how it goes. Viorella, I don't know if I said that right. I'm really sorry. What's happening with Boohoo? Depends what you're asking. What do I think of the earnings? They're coming up this week. But yeah, it's been on a really good run recently. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. G Moran, we are not staying to 10:30 today. Like half an hour, 45 minutes. That is it today. Luke, how are you doing? Firm IPO thoughts. Hope you are doing well. Just did a video on it. Don't think I'll buy, but it is very, very interesting. I do like this IPO. So I'm kind of hoping it just sinks on IPO day, drops down a little bit, and then if it drops from IPO, I'll probably buy it. But there's another like buy now pay later company called, I forgot its goal now. It begins with like a K. It's like Karama or something. Them guys, I would like them to come public, so that's the one I'm holding out for, but we'll see. Haroon says Tattoo Chef and Turtle Beach going up. Yeah, the next 2 to 5 years, they'll do amazing. Yeah, 100% they're going up. Epic says, do you think a market correction is incoming this year? They're hard to predict. Like, if you could predict stock market crashes, you'd be a millionaire, because you'd literally just sell out before the crash and then buy back in after the crash. So there's never been anyone successful that's ever predicted the market. That's the thing. So, you kind of get some like feeling like when the stock market pulled back in 2018, it was like a 19% crash, so it never got classed as a crash, because like it's 20% to be classed as a crash. So it was like 1% off being classed as a crash in 2018. And I said that the stock market is probably going to pull back anytime soon, and it did. So I kind of knew that one was coming. The recent crash, I didn't know there was a pandemic coming, but I was saying, if you go back on my videos in like December 20, what year were we on? The start of 2019, going into 2019, going into 2020. I forgot we were in 2021 then. I said then that the stock market is overvalued, and I thought it was going to have a pullback. I didn't know there was a pandemic coming, and that would be the reason that we did pull back. I mean, I didn't know that was going to happen. But if you go back on the videos in December time, you'll hear me saying like the stock market's due a pullback. So I kind of had some sort of feeling that we were overvalued. Right now, I do think we are overvalued, 100%. But the one problem that I have right now is that I look around and I'm like, but the problem is there's nothing else to invest in right now, and that's a big problem, because like we can't go in anything because interest rates are so low, and people just and these stimulus checks, they're just forcing people to like go and buy invest in the stock market. So it's a tricky one, because I just don't see where everyone's going to go. People are not going to sit in cash, and I'm thinking, what else is there to do? And I just think people are still going to buy stock. So yeah, I mean, every sign does say that we're probably due some sort of pullback, but they're so hard to predict, and I'm like, there's just nothing else to do. So I do think we'll have a pullback at some point. I can't see it being a big pullback, and I can't see it any time soon at the moment. But I am worried about the valuations we're at for sure. So yeah, I kind of like didn't answer that question, but tried to give it the best I could. Oh, I missed some questions are flying past. Then I think I missed quite a few here. Connor says thoughts on Plantair. I always never say that right. I've still not looked into the company. It's on my list to do at some point. There's that on my list. There's like Xping on my list. Ehang, the like Chinese drone companies on my list. Yeah, there's a few on my list. I'm trying to get through them all. So yeah. The only reason why they always get pushed down is because like when the stock price jumps up, I'm like, I've probably missed that opportunity. So that's why I always end up pushing them down, which I shouldn't really do because there could be still upside. But yeah, that's sometimes why I never get around to them, to be fair. And Cody says 103 watching, only 21 likes. He's got facts. He's talking facts here. Marco says, can you explain what Barrett Development mean when they said they paid 2.5 dividends in Feb? I cannot remember it off the top of my head. That could be relating to the share price they're paying, or it could be the dividend yield. I'm not sure about looking. I can't remember exactly. Ridwan says, what are my thoughts on ARKG? I don't know the particular fund, what stocks are in there, but I would say that you could invest in ARKG, but the thing is, you're never going to get like crazy returns on an index. Now, ARK Invest, you'd argue, are probably one of the best indexes, and you'd probably, if you are going to go indexes, then that's probably one of the best ones to do. But the thing is, with indexes, someone else controls your money, and that might be a right decision for you. You might want to take that away, where you just leave, and then there you go. But as an individual investor, I always like being in control of my own money and like improving an investor and outperforming the indexes. So yeah, it's good, and if it suits you, ARK are probably one of the best indexes to go down. But yeah, I keep missing loads of questions firing at me. Rebecca says, do you think Tesla will surpass, is that 10,000 or 1,000? 1,000, couldn't count the O's. It could do. It could do. I would say that Tesla is definitely in overvalue territory, but I would definitely never bet against Tesla. So yeah, it definitely in the next like probably 2 to 5 years, it will pass 1,000 for sure. I just think you mean like in the next few days, weeks. But yeah, it will do. I just think yeah, I would be careful on it though. It has been on a good run. Tizer says, am I still bullish on Card Factory? Yeah, I still own my shares in Card Factory. Earnings this week, big week for Card Factory, big week for Boohoo. We'll see what the earnings produce. Crazy. Matt P says, have I heard of Jet 2? I don't know if you're being serious or not. Is it a buy? Yes, 100%. Sam says about a SPAC that I've not heard of, so I don't know. Oh, the questions move so quick. Hi, Jacob. My average price in here is $24 currently. Should I double down on it now for the merger? Yeah, I would. Like, if you still believe in the company and the prices go down 100%. Yeah, if you believe in it, buy it and the price goes down. Like, here for me is got plenty of value, and I love it when my stocks go down. We just get my average down. So yeah, because if you imagine, right, let's say you buy a stock for $40, and it goes up to like $60, you make a 50% profit. But if the stock goes down when you start buying it and it goes down to $20, and you can average down to $20 and it goes up to $60, then you then go from making a 50% gain on that share price to then actually making a 200% return on that share price. So getting a lower average gives you more upside if it goes down in the short term. So you should want it now. That was a very dramatic kind of like good reason why to average down, because it gives you that much more upside. But yeah, that's potentially what you want to be looking at. Where do you see Boohoo in 2 to 5 years? I see it above £5 in the next 2 to 5 years. I am hoping it closes towards £5 towards the end of this year. but that's quite short term. So like if we had a crash like in November, like that would definitely never happen. But that's probably like where I am hoping. Asfar says, where do I value Tattoo Chef and Beyond Meat in the end of 2021 and mid 2022? It's hard to give exact prices. Like I can't tell you exactly like where it's going to be in 12 months time, in 18 months time. It's very hard to pinpoint it. If you could pinpoint it, like you would, you know, be like, oh, I'm not going to buy here, I'm going to buy here, and I'm going to sell out exactly here. Like it's very hard to give like pinpoint ones. I would say that Tattoo Chef and Beyond Meats have very good futures. I would say that Beyond Meats is what like a 1.5 billion market cap, and I think it has the potential to go to a 5 billion market cap. So that's where I would say that one could go. Beyond Meats is like an 8 billion market cap, and I think that could be coming a 30 billion market cap in the next 5 years. So that's where I see them two going. Derek says he finally caught a live Q&A. Nice. I think that's saying you bought Card Factory at 40p, so nice. Yeah, Daniel, I think £5 a good price for S4 Capital. So it's about roughly where I started buying. United U Foundation said about Barrett Developments, my thoughts. I covered it on the video 2 days ago. Love it. Great earnings that have come out. It's a great company, great management. And yeah, it's going to do really well. I've got a good averaging price, and when the dividend comes back as well, it's going to be insane. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Barrett Developments. I think you've got to have. I think there's like two industries you've got to have. Like you've got to have a payment industry in your portfolio, like PayPal, Visa, Square, because they're just going to do amazing. House builders, UK house builders, like another one I would go for. So yeah, those are two that I would say is definitely like get it in there. SC says something about, oh, I just missed your question. It just went off my screen before I get to it. I saw something about skills and buy now, and I think it had like an average price, and I think it said $14, but it just shut off before I could get it. Yeah, I would have, if you really like the company, I won't be scared to average up. I don't think you'll get $14 again. I think them days are gone, so you are going to have to bite the bullet and average up a bit. I had to do it as well. So yeah, that probably will have to happen. And yeah, I would average up, but I would try and wait for, it's a very small market cap. It's been on a good run. I would try just wait a little bit and get it a bit lower and then try average up. So yeah, that's what I would try and do. Yeah, I think the days of $14 are definitely gone. Oh, Ultimate United's back again. £2 donation. I wondered if you were going to catch the stream. I got 120 to add. Should I get Neo, Jet2, or S4 Capital? Wow, that is a hard question. Um, it would. I mean, I don't know what position your portfolio is in. It would be like, have you already got shares in Neo? Have you already got shares in Jet2? And have you got shares in S4 Capital? That would be something I consider. And also, if you have any other stocks in that sort of in them sort of industries. So if you already have like for example, like a TUI or someone like that, in that industry, then I probably wouldn't. If you got Tesla, then I probably won't get Neo. And then you can have exposure into a new industry. So I would consider it if you've got exposure already. But trying to pick a stock out of them, that's so tricky. You've definitely put me on the spot. If you don't have an airline, I would be tempted with Jet2. And then if you do have an airline, I would probably go with Neo, so you've got some sort of EV play. And then I guess that puts S4 Capital last. Yeah, I mean, that's a really tricky question, but if I had a bit more details about your portfolio, I mean, send me a message on Discord because you're in the patrons group. So yeah, swizz a message on there, and I'll probably be able to give you a bit more information on that one. Kevin says, all of your stocks, which do you think are the top 3 companies with the most growth upside potential for 2 to 5 years? It's a really good question. So if you're saying growth potential for the next 2 to 5 years, I'm thinking which stocks am I buying the heaviest, and which stocks would I hold for the 5-year spectrum, I guess. So from that point of view, I would say that I really like InMode. Obviously, it's my biggest position now in the portfolio, so I love InMode. Facebook for sure. Facebook at these prices is just crazy. So yeah, InMode, Facebook, Beyond Meats. I think Beyond Meats will be massive. Tattoo Chef, I think, is going to be massive as well. And then I would say potentially. I mean, I'm tempted to say Huya. Huya could come in that list. And skills, I like skills. I think they're all very good growing industries that and stocks at decent prices right now. So yeah, I would say potentially I would go with them on that sort of point of view. On the UK front, I guess S4 Capital's done amazing, and then probably I mean, Jet2's, I really do like Jet2. Hollywood Bowl still dirt cheap prices with really good plans to increase. I mean, Boohoo, you got to say Boohoo. If Boohoo carry on with that US growth and come like a major US company, so yeah, I gave you a lot there, but yeah, I guess them. So yeah. Popcorn Lover says, how come you don't day trade? Also, much better pay than teaching. With day trading, it's one of those you've just got to you've got to sit down, you've got to focus, you've got to look at graphs and everything like that. And I think like 10% of people can only do successful on day trading, or 20% of people are successful on day trading. So you have to be something special, and if you can be that special person, then that's amazing. But for me, I don't want to sit down and leave it. And I mean, I can do pretty decent gains doing long-term investing. So yeah, it's not something I'm really interested in at all. BM 365. Always see you in the comments, by the way. In Europe, do you think Unilever will sell more vegan products than Tattoo Chef and Beyond Meats? I currently don't know how well their product's doing, so I couldn't really tell you. But I would say that if Tattoo Chef already has big, massive deals and Beyond has massive deals and they're going to ramp them up, I would be favouring them. So yeah. Scott says, I think day trading success is like 5%. I think last time I checked, it's 20%, but yeah, crazy. MY says, when deciding on a stock and buy price, do you buy with all allocated cash or a percentage? I'm trying to think what you mean by that question. Like I have a set amount that I probably go for. Like I know how much roughly it's going to be that I put in, I guess. I guess that's what you mean. So yeah. Or is it like a percentage of a portfolio, I guess? I mean, I just go with a set amount, really. Jay says about sentiment. I've not looked into that one. So yeah. Alex Rodriguez says, can you explain margin? Margin is just basically where you are getting like lent money to go buy stocks. So yeah, it's very risky. I would definitely not touch it. Richard says, what do you think about M&S as they own 50% of Ocado? I think M&S actually own all of it. I'm not 100% sure, but last time I checked, I think it was 100%. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan at the moment. I would have to see them develop that a little bit more for me to actually be like interested in going into it. So yeah, not at the stage where I'd buy just yet. It's one I'm keeping an eye on though. Limel Messi says, did I get a chance to check out Bidstack? I think I might have done. Let me have a look. I think I had a look at this. Let me have a look at this Bidstack. I'm sure I had a look at it, but I'll check. It's a UK company, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, advertising company. I think I looked at it and there was something that I saw which I wasn't a huge fan of. Yeah, this is it. So they basically are losing money, and as time goes on, it actually ends up losing more money. So in 2018, they lost like 400k. 2019 was 3.2 million. 2019 was 5.2 million. And this year they're going to lose 6.8 million. So yeah, it's just like the cash is just burning through is crazy, which is really scary. And the thing as well is like the revenue's like not great either. So I mean they make like 300k, but yet they're losing like 6 million. Man, that's nuts. And the cash they have is 5.9 million. So the moment they're burning through the cash they have on the balance sheet, they're going to burn through within the next 12 months, which is kind of scary. So, I mean, you might know something that might be a bit of a game changer here. So if you do, let me know. But from what I saw straight away, I was like, that's a really bad sign. So yeah, it won't be one that I touch anytime soon. Totally missed a few questions there. Is PayPal, Square, or another fintech stock a future mover? By future mover, I'm guessing like a decent buy. Yeah, I mean, if I were you, I would definitely have some sort of payment company in your portfolio. Like it's a key to have a payment company in your portfolio, like Visa or Square or PayPal. Like have some sort of payment company in there because they're great companies. So you got to have one in there to give you some sort of courage, 100%. Okay, that guy is sending way too many messages. The Muffman says, "Hi Jacob, AG Eagle ticket UAVS drone parcel delivery." Is this one? I don't know. I've never actually heard of that one. Not actually heard of that one. Sam says, "Which is the best room in the Discord in your opinion?" The JKR post ones. That's the best one. Will Boohoo get to £4 after earnings? We'll see. It depends on. Last time I believe we had Boohoo earnings, like they had a really good run up, and the problem is like it went on such a good run, and then earnings were amazing, but everyone predicted it, and then it just sold off. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't have a good run this week until Thursday, and then hopefully earnings are good, and then we'll see it shoot up. We'll see. If I think earnings must be amazing. They've got to be amazing. So it could be the time. It could be the time to do pop. Matthew Mills says, "Who designed your logo intro?" The intro is I made it. The logo, Ben makes it. Ben made the logo. Sometimes there's the thumbnails as well. So when the like thumbnails are like potato looking, that's when I've done it. And when they look really good, that's when Ben does it. So that's the way to tell. I don't know if Ben's actually in this chat. Ben sometimes does come into the live stream, so we'll see if he posts a comment. Salter says, "Do I invest on Crowdcube or Seeders?" I do invest on Crowdcube, but there's only ever one company that I bought, which was Freetrade. So yeah, I invested into Freetrade. Chris, I don't understand what you mean about earnings over 30%. Send me more detail. I'm not sure what you mean about that. John says, "What are my thoughts on Card Factory?" I talked about it a little bit earlier, but basically this is the quarter where we see how the turnaround plan's doing. So we'll get some numbers from Aldi, we'll get some numbers from the Reject Store, and we'll see how they're doing. We'll also get the online sales growth, which last time I think we got was like 60%. So we'll see how good the online sales is. We'll see how much the Aldi and the Reject Store sales will start playing in. So yeah, it's a quarter where we see how the turnaround plan's going. It's one of those where it's probably going to just ignore the profit, ignore the revenue, and see how well they do with them new partnerships. So yeah, we'll know a lot more on Thursday, I think. Joseph says, have I looked into Salesforce? I've actually got it on my list to look into. So yeah, I will see. Jane Jones says, I'm in profit with Cineworld. Do you think there is still upside or sell and move on? To be honest with you, I'm a bit nervous on the cinema chains at the moment because like Cineworld's like they've got a lot of problems because they like ditched that deal last minute. I don't know if you remember it. There was like they were going to make that deal and Corona came and there was like, oh no, we're not doing that deal anymore. I'm not sure if that's totally solved now, but that's something to be careful of. They've also took a ton load of debt on, which is a bit of a problem. So that could be a bit of a nightmare. I also think there's another thing where they've like signed where films go to streaming services within like 4 weeks of being released now. So they're like literally in cinema for like 4 weeks and they can go on streaming service where previously it was like 3 months or something like that. You'll have to double check that because I'm not 100% sure if them dates are actually right. But it's something like that, like films that go to the cinema come on streaming platforms a lot quicker now. So that's something to be careful of. So yeah, the combination of the going on to streaming quicker, the debt that's on, some problems they might have with the takeover they're going to do. It's a bit of a bad mixture for Cineworld right now compared to where it was going into COVID. So I would be very careful of that situation because it might not be the same company as it was pre-COVID. So that's what I would say about that one. Um, Tesla or NEO for growth? That is a really hard question. I would be tempted to go Tesla just because I really love what they're doing with the solar industry. That's something that really stands out to me. Sam S for £5 donation. Thank you so much. Um, What's your view on Snowflake? The TA looks great, but I found mixed reviews online. It's a company I've never properly looked into. I know it got a lot of hype when it was coming to. I'm just going to see if I can get any financial information on it. It's when it was coming on. I know it was getting a lot of hype about it, and I just never looked into it. Something to do about data. 85 billion market cap company. That's a good amount. Went up to $390. It's come down a little bit at the moment. How are we doing on the revenue side? Oh, the growth's really good on it. Yeah, the growth is growing huge, which is good. Revenue size, it seems like it's not getting any closer to profit. That's something I'll be really careful of. Like, can they get to profit? Because it says here on Simple Wall Street, it's still going to lose money for like the next 3 years. And as well, it's like losing like 600 million. So I'll be careful of that. Growth's really good though. How's the balance sheet looking? It's got 4.8 billion cash. That's pretty healthy and no debt. So yeah, I mean it's still got like a good couple of years it can burn through the cash. I would, yeah, I mean obviously I would have to look into like what the company does, the competition side of it. The growth looks very interesting. I'd be very cautious on how quick they can get to profitability. It would have to probably be obviously within the next 2 or 3 years ideally. But looks interesting. Looks a decent value though. I mean, 85 billion. What is it like? 3 billion it's going to put in this year. So yeah, I mean, it does still seem pretty decently valued. So I'll just be careful on that side of it. MY says, any thoughts on gold? Personally, something I wouldn't get involved into. I like buying stocks, buying actual like companies, seeing where the revenue is going to go, the profit's going to go up. So yeah, that's what I like doing. Matthew Mills says, do I think I'll be buying much next week? I've kind of just posted about this on Patreon. I generally just going to see how the market opens up. I've got a few plans to buy a couple of things, but we'll see how the market goes. So I've got no buy orders in for Monday morning. Yeah, I'm going to see how the week goes. But there's a few stocks I am looking at. There's a few comments about Argo blockchain. I've heard a few people talking about this. I know they're involved with Bitcoin, but generally anything involved with like Bitcoin is something I generally don't like to touch. I've gone on the wrong company there. Argo blockchain, there we go. ARB. Yeah, mining services in crypto. Yeah, I mean the big thing I would say here is like literally, let's have a look. So this stock has been around since 2018, and the stock for 2 years has literally done nothing. But in the last 2 weeks, the stock has pretty much it's nearly like 8x its price in like 2 weeks. So I would say like, is that actually justified or is that just hype? Why has the company done nothing for like 2 years and then in 2 weeks it's like 8x? I mean, is it deserved or is that hype? That's what I would say. Cody's very good at pushing these likes out. Louis says, any thoughts on news that Moonpig will IPO? I've not looked into the IPO, so I could not give you any information on it. Let's see if I can actually find some. Let's have a look. Moonpig IPO, 1 billion. That's crazy. Like Moonpig's going on for like 1 billion. And like, what's the value of Card Factory? Like 100 million. So you're telling me that Moonpig is actually valued at 15 times what Card Factory is? That's nuts. I always forget that WH Smith owned Funky Pigeon as well. It doesn't say how much revenue they do. Let's see if I can find what they do. Revenue. Moonpig revenue. So Moonpig's revenue apparently in 2019 was 100 million. The company's going onto the stock market for 1.5 billion. Put that into perspective for Card Factory for a second. So Card Factory in 2019 did like 500 million revenue. So 5 times what Moonpig does. And Card Factory is worth 100 million. And Moonpig is worth 1.5 billion. So Moonpig is worth 15 times what Card Factory is, even though Card Factory does 5 times the revenue. So that either says to me that Moonpig is either overvalued or Card Factory is massively undervalued. I'm very interested in Roblox IPO, Rebecca. I'll see what happens because I don't think it's for like another 10 days. Dropbox, yeah, big fan of that one. I own shares in that one. BMBM says, how much did Dragon's Den sell Moonpig for? I was wondering if I can't remember if it was Funky Pigeon or Moonpig. Not 100% sure. Jay says, do I have a favorite oil stock? Oil's not one that I like to get involved in. I do think like they are sold off, demand will come back, the share prices will go up. However, the thing with oil stocks is that they are a dying industry. EV will become electric, and solar and renewable will come massive over the next 5 years. So I don't want to get in that aspect because of that. What's going to attract investors into the oil industry when it's going to be moving to renewables? And sure, you can focus on oil stocks that are trying to change to that. That's one point you can look at it, but I would be looking at a dedicated renewable play more than anything. And the thing as well is that with oil stocks, like external factors can really affect oil stocks, and I don't like that. Like if something happens in a certain country, and like I mean I don't like that. I generally like not having to worry about external factors coming into play. So I generally don't touch oil stocks. If that's true, Gordy, can you ask him to come out, please? The Muffin Man says, "So I love that name. So much talk about Tesla and Neo. What about big? What about current big companies like Volkswagen? They will be on the EV train, and they will be a competitor. Good buy now for the future." I'm not 100% sure where their technology is at right now. I cannot remember every company, but you've got to be really careful because they've still got a lot of catching up to do what like Tesla has to do. So yeah, I'd be careful from that point of view, and just see where the technology's at because when you've got the choice of buying a Volkswagen that can do like a 200-mile range, or you can go get a Tesla that does like nearly double that now. That's something you've also got to be careful of. So yeah, I can't say too much because I don't know the technology in and out. But yeah, you've really got to focus on how far they are in developing it. Khalid says Amazon seems to be ignored a lot. It's having a bit of a cool off period. It actually reminds me. I'm gonna have a look at this chart for Amazon. It actually reminds me a lot of Apple in 2018. Apple in 2018 like did nothing, and then next thing you know, it like shot up loads. Same as if you look at Amazon right now. So if Amazon in 2018 um, pretty much did nothing. So from Amazon from the 14th of September 2018 to the 27th of March 2020, so about a year and a half, went down 3%. So Amazon had a year and a half cooling off period through that time. And then you get to the start of 2020 and the stock goes up 67%. So yeah, I mean, when it has these cooling off periods, they can last up to a year and a half, and then next thing you know, they shoot up. Apple did something very similar. Let me look at Apple. And I think this is the time that Warren Buffett started doing it. So if you look at like Apple in 28, about exactly the same time, 2018 to like the mid 2019. So these guys did it for about a year. The stock went down 4%. And then from the 6th of September 2019, Apple stock went up 141%. So yeah, it does seem to see like when these cooling off periods happen in these stocks, it's a good time to like build your position over a year, and then they seem to wake up again. And I think that's when Warren Buffett started buying a lot of Apple as well. And yeah. Um, Rob says Amazon have just bought a load of old banger planes for their prime air fleet. I did not know that. BM says Facebook X3 in time, anyone? I think Facebook will be a $500 stock at some point in the next 5 years, 100%. I've not seen that there's been a different strain in Japan and Russia. Must have missed that one. Dividend portfolio says if I could choose one stock buy now, what would it be? That is so tricky. You put me on the spot there. Beyond Meats is the one that's the most attractive to me at the moment, so I might go that. Jay says, "Do I have a favorite bank stock?" Bank industry, same again, something I don't really get involved in. They don't have an amazing growth. They're not really attractive to investors. Share prices hardly move. So it's not an industry that I'm massive on. But if I had to go to a UK bank, I would go Barclays. We've got Vic H joining us. Always tunes in on the live streams. Darren, I think is messaging someone called Harry there. Yeah, National Express do operate outside the UK. A lot of their growth is coming from outside of the UK. I think people sometimes forget how like big of a company National Express is. Like I think they do the national rail service for like Germany. Matthew says Roblox was an 8 billion company 1 month ago, pre-IPO pulling out. Now direct listing is 29.5 billion. Wow. Is that actually true? No way. Because I was going to buy Roblox's IPO. No way. You are actually right. Flipping. The company was valued at 4 billion in February 2020. Wow, that is crazy. I was going to buy Roblox's IPO. I thought 8 billion that was undervalued. The funny thing is, I'm sure they pulled the IPO because they they thought the market was kind of crazy on IPO values and they didn't want it shooting up. So yeah, that's crazy. Sean says about Boeing on Monday. I don't think it'll move. I'm not sure about. Obviously, there's been the crash this weekend, um, and yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends what the crash comes out as. I think I saw like the plane was like descending at like free falling, which is obviously seems to me that it's not something mechanical. Um, but yeah, like I say, we'll just wait for information to come out on that one. Right, Raymond says, what platform do I use? I use Trading 212. So I use that one for the ISA. I also have the invest account on there. And then I have the DEGIRO because Trading 212 decides to collapse like every 5 days. So yeah, I've got both of them. Yeah, I just saw that Etoro had got some of the ARK ETFs on there. It's pretty good. First ones to do it, I think. Lamel Messi says, can we expect a good card factory report? I don't think so. They've been shut so much. So it's one of those that it's seeing how good the turnaround play is at the moment. Louis says, will you be buying Deliveroo shares once the IPO? Considered it. Considered it. We'll see if they do IPO. I mean, I think like as I'm thinking on my head the other day, like some really cool IPOs that could happen for the UK front. And I thought Deliveroo would be a good one. I thought Nando's would be a good IPO. Gymshark, they could be three good IPOs on the UK stock market. Um, I don't know if any of you guys have ever played at like the five-a-side place, which goals. I thought that could be a good IPO. Sometimes sometimes I look around at places and I'm like, that'd be really good if that company IPO'd. I'll tell you another good one that I thought the other day, Lush. Lush would be a very good IPO. Man, people queue out that stock like crazy. Lush would be a very good IPO. Um, yeah, Lush, Deliveroo, Nando's, Goals. Um, I'm trying to think of more UK companies that would be really good to IPO. What's always really popular in the UK that isn't on the stock market? Can't think of any more. Just two moves says, what platform do I use? Trading 212 and DEGIRO. Scott says Nando's will be boring. Um, What do I think ASOS will do after earnings? Not sure. I don't track the company, but it should be really strong. You know what I didn't realize the other day is that Revolution was on the stock market. That's crazy. That got me thinking of more UK companies that could go on the stock market now. Local fish and chip shop is IPO. That would be a good IPO to go by. If it's my local fish and chip shop, that'd be a good IPO. They do more revenue than Workhorse, so I'm just saying, what's Workhorse valued at? Like 3 billion. So I put the fish and chip shop at least a 5 billion valuation. So uh, Colin Farrell says about Tattoo Chef share dilution. Not that I'm aware of, and they would probably never need it. I don't know if you've seen the cash on the balance sheet. It's crazy. I think it's like 80. I can't remember exactly on it, but it's a lot. Yeah, I was gonna do an IPO. I was gonna do a video on like UK companies that should IPO. I'm sure Wagamama's is actually owned by a public company. Scott, I cannot remember which one, but I think it is already public. You've got me looking now. Looking at Wagamama's. Yeah, the restaurant group. There you go. Ticker RTN. Yeah, it's already on the stock market. They own Chiquitos and Frankie and Benny's, I believe, as well. Yeah, because I know they were having a lot of financial problems. It's not surprising really either, because I don't know if like Frankie and Benny's like used to be like the best restaurant to go to, and like it's just gone so downhill like the last 2, 3, probably 3, 4 years. Yeah, the restaurant group. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's if you look at the share price since like 2015, it's brutal. Yeah, a few of you guys getting there as well about the restaurant group. That's what I was really surprised when I heard that they owned Wagamama's, because I was like, Wagamama's is so popular. Like every time I go, like it's really really busy. But like Frankie and Benny's and Chiquitos is normally dead, and like they're always doing like the 2 meals for £20 on Groupon or something. Like they really struggle, but then they've got such a successful brand. It's so weird. Yeah, I've not heard of DX Group. I have actually. I have. They have a delivery company. I didn't even know they're public. Um, Wetherspoons is decent. Yeah. DraftKings tempted, maybe a little bit cheaper, but I like it. Jay says about biotech stocks, not an industry I get involved in. The NHS should IPO. Would I recommend Facebook at these prices? Yeah, Facebook's always a buy. Facebook's always a buy. I had a look at for Bow TV, but yeah, I think they were always going to lose money. I think that's what it was. So yeah. Any other restaurant stocks that I can think of? Um, yeah, there's like a lot of US restaurants that you can buy that are public. On the UK front, it's a lot more quiet though. But yeah, on the UK front, there's definitely a lot you can buy. UK is, yeah, like I say, is a lot more quiet. I mean, like I don't know, can you class Wetherspoons as one? But yeah, there's a few more. Yeah, Brewdog. I'm sure I always see them like asking for investors though. Like they're always like, "Oh, invest so and so and get free beer or something." Yeah, Cheesecake Factory. Ah, I've actually not seen that they've requested for share dilution. Not seen that. APXT, I looked into. I think the only things I saw with that is like the growth isn't amazing for a SPAC stock. I think it's like 30%, which is still really good. But yeah, um, I think like for a SPAC stock, that's pretty slow revenue. And I think as well is like a lot of their revenue comes from Microsoft. And I'm like, well, why don't Microsoft either like if they're spending that much money, why don't they solve that problem? And they've got the cash to do it. Or if it's really that good, why haven't like Microsoft like bought them out? Because that would make sense as well. So yeah, um, those are just a few things that I've seen. Yeah, Hotel Chocolate. Um, I know they're public. Richard says, I need a house builder. Which one do you pick right now? Um, to be honest with you, I won't be able to tell you because I have no idea what Redrow or Persimmon have done lately. So I have no idea to compare them because I have no idea what price run they've been on. However, what I would say is that when I was looking at buying a house builder in March, the standout one was Barrett Developments, and then Taylor Wimpey was close. So I would look at them too. Uh, After that, I think Red Row was the next closest behind them two. Um, so yeah, I'd look at them three, and like I said, I think Barrett was the number one a few months ago. But yeah, I look at one of them three and see which one's is best. Phil, I think you're asking about when you sign up and put the codes in. Yeah, you only get one free share. You can't use multiple codes, otherwise you just go around collecting everyone's codes, and the broker would end up handing out about 100 shares for everyone. So yeah, you only get one code. Yeah, MJ Glayson's like a lot lower like value for their houses. So that's why I like having that one as well as like Taylor Wimpey and Barrett because they're like more like middle class houses. So yeah, it gives me a good like coverage in that housing sector. So yeah, Sean says, what makes skills unique? Could another company come along and undercut them? Potentially, yeah, but at the moment they are currently the only public online mobile competitive company. So that's you can only buy that company on the stock market in that sort of industry. So yeah, that's the great thing about it at the moment. So it's definitely got a good advantage at the moment. Spec savers, that's a good one. Right, we are 53 minutes in, so I am going to call it there. We were going to go somewhere between half an hour and 45 minutes, so I still went a little bit over, but we'll call it there at 53 minutes anyway. So yeah, I made the error of not bringing a drink with me to drink, so my throat's getting a little bit sore at the moment. So yeah, what a shocker. But yeah, we'll call it there in 53 minutes. Not too bad. So they would just do somewhere between half an hour, 45 minutes. So we still went a little bit over, but we'll call it there. Maybe do another one in a week or so. So yeah. But before I go, the likes are currently on 99. So if someone on the stream could just get that over 100, that'd be amazing. But we'll call it there, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. So thanks so much for joining. I'll see you in a bit.